Folks, I'll be sharing my techniques and this technology at these upcoming spaces. Sure hope to meet you there.
Good morning, everyone. Today is November the 5th, and this is the Futures in 5. We've got a couple of things that we're looking at today. Of course, Election Day here in the U.S. We've got bounces that are holding. These are two-day candlesticks, so I want to sort of clean it up a little bit. We can see that we've got a ton of resistance congestion here, and so that is going to be sort of the order of what we're looking at. Because our chart lost a very important level, we are looking down into the space to see, wait a second, where are we in this cycle? And we're in the cycle of, hey, we keep breaking important supports, and now we are trying to recapture them. This wave here is a bit like this wave here in terms of the fact that it ran into a resistance zone, and that is over 100 points away from where we are right now, and faded again to a lower low, and now we are bouncing into the relative resistance area, old support, new resistance. That's going to be somewhere around this area. That gives us what we are looking at in terms of a potential breakout pass for the space. My thought is first pass bounces are going to give us sell-offs. I do believe they're trying to hold a bottom here in a shorter cycle event, and so what we're going to watch for is the continued higher lows. The second those break, we've got trouble, and that's across the board. But right now, we've got a little bit of bullish action inside of a largely bearish formation. Let's take a look at the NQ. Same sort of thing. We had a breakdown here, fade. Here's the bounce. Relief bounce action. Takes about 4 days. And then lower low. Here's the rub for this one. That's why tech looks really different right now than it used to. Bounce, one cycle of 2 days. The second cycle, we sold off the job numbers and a bit with Apple. And now we're sitting here with another sell-off space. What we have to do, hold the lows. If we fail to hold the lows, we've got problems, right? Because we have a naturally bearish formation, and so the naturally bearish formation will give us resistance at the first pass. Let's take a look at the YM. This is a 3-day formation. I'm going to slip it to a 2-day formation. We're going to see that what our chart is doing is battling against resistance in the same kind of way. This bounce, however, is a bit stronger than the bounces that we've seen in the other spaces, right? We had the 4-day bounce, but this one holding fairly high. I know it's taking a long time. Perhaps the magic of timing here will allow us to move through this space. See how long it's going here. All right. So now we have our 2-day cycle. What we're looking at is a bounce into resistance. Look at how big the bounce is. Deep fade, but the bounces are almost at this peak. You'll notice ES and Q not looking like that. And so the folks in the YM are saying, hey, you know what? Things look all right. Let's see what we can do. My thought is this. We cannot get up and stay up over 28,300. We've got ourselves a little bit of a pickle, right? And so this area is still saying, listen, I've got to fade. A lot of people talking about bounces, folks. When there are a lot of people talking about bounces, I'm usually pretty sure that they don't hold. So I'm going to be extremely cautious into the trading day today. Every day does not have to be a trading day, and I'm just going to be looking for good cycle events. This is the one chart that's showing a little bit of promise. It's the bounce in oil. Now you'll notice that this is the one that I've got on really the tightest cycle, so I'm going to expand it into a broader time frame so that we can see. And while it's doing that, we'll go ahead and look at gold. Gold is in the same pattern that it was days past. It is in a gridlock of motion. When it comes down into these 1228, 1227 areas, we find a bounce. If we cannot get up over 1231, 1232, our charts are going to fade. And I believe our bounce action events are sort of focused on this a little bit. That's going to cause this fade or bring the fade in. So we're looking for these first pass fades. Now, this is actually a breakout chart. It's got a bullish formation in general in terms of coming off of the lows and trying to recover. So we're going to see a lot of buyers on the pullback here. We want to watch for that. If they can't press forward, that's when we know we've got ourselves another selling condition in the space. All right? So let's go back to oil as we close out the futures in 5, and we're going to see that this region here, 62.81, kind of a big deal. Until we get up and over 63.50, we're going to be prone to sell off as soon as we get there. So are we trying to recover? You betcha. Pullbacks today should be buy zones. You just don't want to lose 62.80. That concludes the futures in 5.